Enough is enough. We must rein in Washington's reckless spending.
I'm Dr. Bob, and that's my prescription. I'm Congressman Dr. Bob Onder from Missouri's 3rd District. This week I want to begin by addressing an issue that many people have been asking about, the release of the Epstein files. The Epstein scandal is deeply tragic. There were real victims whose lives were destroyed, and my heart goes out to every single woman who was harmed by Jeffrey Epstein. But I am also truly sorry that the media has treated this case like nothing more than a tabloid spectacle. And I'm hopeful, with my support in the House, we will finally have transparency in this case. But let's be clear, for months we've watched the coordinated effort of the Democrats and the left to tie President Trump to Jeffrey Epstein. This effort is incredible. It highlights something very important. Democrats were never concerned about transparency. If they were, they would have long ago, when Biden was in sole control over the executive branch for 4 years. What they care about is using the allegations and weaponize them against the president. That's political opportunism. As this conversation continues, we cannot lose sight of the facts. President Trump and congressional Republicans delivered the largest tax cut in American history, secured our southern borders, made us safer, ended wars, and worked tirelessly to root out waste, fraud, and abuse in the government. President Trump's record speaks louder than all the lies and misinformation, and we are fortunate to have him as our president. Now, I would like to tell you about one of the bills I introduced this week, the Endorsement Transparency Act. This legislation bars labor unions from endorsing a presidential candidate unless a union polls its members. It ensures that union leaders can't make a unilateral endorsement and use member dues to counter the will of their members. The International Brotherhood of Teamsters has long aligned with Democrat candidates, endorsing figures such as Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden in 2020. Sean O'Brien was elected president of the 1.3 million member unit in 2021, ushering in a new chapter in leadership marked by internal debate and more national attention. In the 2024 election, the union broke from decades of precedent by declining to endorse either candidate, Trump or Harris, when its internal polling showed overwhelming support for President Trump. In one poll, support was 58% to 31% in favor of Donald Trump. Ultimately, the union decided not to issue an endorsement, while openly acknowledging strong pro-Trump sentiment among its members. While better than a Harris endorsement, this is still unacceptable. Labor unions exist to serve their members, not to serve the political interests of their left-leaning leadership. The Endorsement Transparency Act is critical to ensuring transparency and accountability. Lastly, I want to talk about the second bill I introduced this week, the Rotor Act, which is the House companion to Senator Ted Cruz's bill and a critical step in strengthening aviation safety. The urgency of this work was made clear by the tragic mid-air collision in January over our nation's capital, in which 67 lives were lost. My heart goes out to every family member who lost a loved one. This tragedy made it clear that serious gaps still exist in our aviation oversight, gaps that demand attention. Senator Cruz's Rotor Act makes the critical step toward closing these loopholes by requiring government and military aircraft to use location equipment and rely on modern technology to ensure airline safety. This is common sense, responsible legislation, and it reflects our duty to protect the American people. I'm proud to be leading the fight in the House to pass the Rotor Act. To learn more, go to my website, onder.house.gov. If you'd like to stay informed about my work in Washington, including committee work, floor activity, and legislative updates, I encourage you to subscribe to my newsletter at onder.house.gov. I'm Dr. Bob, and that's my prescription.